Hey there, this is Anonymous T. Welcome to Anonymous T Podcast. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to both this channel and my main channel, Anonymous T. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So today we're talking Love Island USA. Surprise, 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 because Peacock and, NBC Universal, they've got this cast in a chokehold. They have got them under contract at least until August 19th because today they had a mandatory filmed event at Universal Studios, right? And it was all of the finalists, sans Miguel. Miguel is back in the UK. And we saw a little, a little bit here and there of Kayla and Aaron, and Rob. So those are the non-finalists that are going to be a part of this, apparently. But some fans that took some photos. This actually is from a fan photo. And you can see around Kenny's neck, like the VIP, exclusive. They didn't have to wait in line for anything. And essentially, Janae, Leah, and Serena, they all came matching with like white tops and blue jeans, either blue jean shorts or capris or whatever, or pants. And, everybody was having a good time. And, Serena and Cordell were loved up. Kenny and Janae were loved up. Kanae was, Kanae, I call them by their ship names sometimes, but, he was like feeding her in one of the clips. He finally got back his Instagram like a few hours ago. Janae, I believe, is at 935,000 followers on Instagram. So she should be hopefully hitting 1 million followers by this weekend, I hope. Leah has 2 million followers, and Serena just hit 1 million followers, you guys. So a couple of other things that we have to talk about. So remember, in the previous video, we talked about Kendall having a nude scandal, you guys. And having the nude scandal and some inappropriate photos and everything else, right? We're talking about that because today, actually yesterday, somebody dropped similar pictures and photos of none other than Rob, you guys. And people could identify him because of the snake tattoo and all of these things. Allegedly. And it was very compromising, just like the Kendall ones are compromising. But nonetheless, it didn't get the reaction that Kendall's got because I think it was just so shocking. And it seems there seems to be this campaign to make Rob look good in every single capacity because he's about to hit 1 million followers on Instagram as well. So people are doing their best to like shut it down. Shout out to Ella. But nonetheless, it's out there. It is out there. And it's interesting people waited until after the finale or on the finale to drop such tomfoolery on these cast members. I hope that is it. I hope nobody else has any nudes or inappropriate poses or things like that tooted up in the air because none of us need to see it, you guys. There's enough spam on Twitter as it is. It's very exhausting trying to block a million things. So there is that. Also, we got to talk about a couple of things from Leah's interview. So she had an exclusive interview with the Not Your Daddy podcast, the same podcast Rob was on. And Leah said basically that black men were easy. And that in particular, black athletes, black rappers are easy to get at. And basically alluded to that, she's had some things. And so the host asks her about Kanye. Leah looks to her sister who is off in the distance and doesn't confirm or deny it was giving NDA. And my thing is this, if nothing happened with Kanye, why not just say that? She referred to her and Miguel situationship. Apparently they hooked up after the show and said that it's not a relationship, it is a quote-unquote friendship. Here's the thing, you guys. If you don't know now, you know. Miguel is BFFs with Louis from Too Hot to Handle. So when I knew that information, I knew what time it was, right? And what it is was that I never took this to be as serious as you guys took it. I took it for what it was. It was going to be a mutual beneficial situationship until neither wants to deal with each other anymore. But Miguel went from saying in interviews that he was going directly to LA from Fiji to then being at the airport and saying, oops, sorry, I'm not going to be able to be at Leah'S farm. I'm going to be back in the UK. And oh, by the way, I'm not coming back to the States until the reunion tapes in New York City in August 19th. So make it make sense. Honestly, I think, this was going to be utilized in a way to deflect from the Leah and Rob viral edits to really push the Miguel and Leah thing. But notice Leah's team is pushing her as an individual, is not pushing her as a part of a couple. Hasn't done any couples interviews with Miguel in this press run, right? So nonetheless, Leah had said some of her exes are in her DMs, and even some other blue check marks are in her DMs. So I think whoever the blue check mark that Leah actually wants to date, don't be surprised when that comes out, right? Because that's what it was kind of giving, that there might be somebody potentially that is high profile, that is a celebrity, that you might see Leah out with soon, right? Whether it's an athlete, rapper, whatever, right? And basically said her preference was black men, right? Hyped up her friendship with Serena, said Serena reminds her of her sister, said that Leah and Janae came into the villa together and that she loves Janae and this and that. Told her fans to stop bullying and harassing people because she said that she didn't care about the Kaylor situation and didn't want people thinking that Kaylor was a racist, you guys. So nonetheless, try to squash that. However, from this podcast interview, the one issue that I had was the comments in regards to the Connor situation. And it disturbed me because I felt as though, Leah was trying to basically make it seem as though there was no issues with on Janae's end, that her and Connor were free to kind of do whatever they wanted. Janae gave her blessing, blah, 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 blah. But we are leaving out the part where initially you guys didn't tell Janae anything. Neither you or Connor, right? And we're leaving out the bash sessions that you and Connor had as it pertained to Janae and throwing shade at her, right? And trying to compare herself to you, right? So we did not discuss any of that in the podcast. So I have a feeling that production, I know as bad as people will think this is going to be like a hunky-dory reunion episode, the only thing that's going to be hunky-dory is whatever they're filming, these things in both Fiji and LA for. That's going to be what's hunky-dory. But I believe there's definitely going to be drama at this reunion, especially if Leah's saying that production is calling Rob Island and pushing for this Rob and Leah storyline because they wanted Rob to win the show. But nonetheless, we have to be honest about this Connor thing, and I have a feeling if we don't get this all out there in any of these interviews, it's going to come out at the reunion. And it's going to be like, hey, we thought we were hyping up this friendship, but not so fast. Or they may get one of these other Islanders to put it out there to try to, get their little 15 minutes of fame. So it'll be interesting. And the other piece I wanted to talk about, speaking of Islanders, you guys. So apparently some people have received invites to film this reunion on August 19th. However, not everybody received an invite, and it seems certain people are in their feelings. And now all of a sudden, have all of this stuff to say about their experience on Love Island. I guess they were waiting on whether or not they were going to get the invite, and if they didn't get the invite, they were going to talk about it on their platform, right? Shout out to Jacoby. But nonetheless, we will see who is and who isn't going to be there. Also, speaking of Islanders, speaking of some of these alumni Islanders. So as you guys know, this is the most watched season ever of Love Island USA. As you know, this is the most streamed Love Island USA in season 6. I think it had like over 900 and something minutes streaming, nearly 1 billion minutes. People were streaming the show. It's the #1 show And all of a sudden, some of these Islanders, like Shannon and Destiny and a few others, they now have come out of the bushes, you guys. In particular, Shannon, who said that she wanted, to wash her hands of Love Island, basically did not want people to define her or define her relationship at the time with Josh, wanted to focus on her brand, wanted to focus on whatever she was doing as an influencer, and to not ask her Love Island questions, right? Until recently, right? Recently, she would allow certain questions here and there on these lives. However, she just did a full live trying to give all this behind the scenes information, and they even got somebody out of the bushes from season 1 to talk about, things production does or doesn't do. And it's like, you guys, I don't understand. I get it that some of you feel a certain type of way. How quickly, in particular, Leah, Janae, and Serena's, popularity skyrocketed and are going to be the most followed female Islanders probably ever that we're going to see, because I don't think we're ever going to get a cast like this again for Love Island USA, because it's very hard to put together a decent cast that is going to give you constant drama and content every episode. So, nonetheless, there are some of these people on the USA seasons who barely have 100,000 followers. Some even have 40 or 50,000 followers if the hate did its magic on some of them. And we're talking OG Islanders even, right? So, they're seeing all this love that Leah, Serena, and Janae are getting. They're seeing how hard these fans are going in the paint for them. And in particular, some female Islanders that's like, whoa, right? I was natural on my season, right? I didn't have any enhancements, and I'm like, is that shade to Janae? Right? Or, I'm beautiful and this and this and that. And it was like, everybody was trying so hard to hype themselves up. And my thing is this. You should be celebrating the attention that Love Island USA is receiving. Everybody since season 3 really has an opportunity to come back on the show on Love Island Games, so why are we throwing shade? Like, make it make sense. I get it that your seasons weren't as popular. In part, if we keep it a book, the cast itself wasn't that good overall. Everybody has their favorites. I have my favorites, of course. But overall, the cast wasn't keeping us entertained. And they brought in a lot of bombshells that were flops. And they drug out the most boring of storylines. And it was very obvious the number of people who were there for clout. Remember the one dude on season 3 that paired up with Trina that had a whole pregnant girl at home? And literally, I don't even think it was like a month after the show ended, talked about the birth of the child. Same thing Johnny just did, by the way, when Love Island Games was airing. The baby mama decided to come out and say, hey, I'm pregnant. And showed like the gender reveal and didn't show Johnny's face. But we knew that was Johnny based off of the voice, based off of the outfit. We were like, we've seen Johnny in that before. That looks like his height, that looks like his build. And we've even had on this season of Love Island USA, there have been people who've been making allegations that Kendall had a girlfriend before the villa. There's been situationships that have been trying to be famous and be seen on TikTok. One was a friend of an ex of Rob's. And it's just like, you guys, everybody wants clout right now. Everyone wants to be tied to this show all of a sudden. The same show that many of these Islanders wanted to forget and wanted to never acknowledge the existence of again. But now all of a sudden they're seeing all this love, a lot of love from new fans, and they cannot handle it. But it's not their fault. It's not the cast's fault. Don't throw shade at the cast. You guys had an opportunity to contribute to your seasons as well. And some of you were memorable, and some of you were not, if we're keeping it a buck. But don't throw shade at these new Islanders like they did something wrong when they're the ones who looked up to you, who followed you, and looked at your journeys on the show. Make it make sense. So also we have to talk about the elephant in the room, which is the unconfirmed breakup of Kendall and Nicole, you guys. So what happened was earlier today, because it sounds like Peacock has set up the cast at a hotel in LA to film whatever content they're going to be filming. Kenny looks like he desperately wants to get back to work badly in Dallas, but nonetheless, if these people are still getting paid and free accommodations to film content for the show, because Peacock, NBC Universal wants to capitalize on all of these streams and potentially give us like some type of a special of sorts, maybe even in addition to the reunion. And to keep things going with this cast. So nonetheless, they're being set up with all of these things. And so in some Instagram stories earlier yesterday, I should say, it was Kenny and Janae leaving the hotel, and we saw Kendall tagging along as the third wheel. And I guess it was their turn to be babysitter, you guys. And so everybody was asking, where's Nicole, where's Nicole, where's Nicole? Because since the show ended, Nicole has not acknowledged Kendall, period. She has not acknowledged him at all. And apparently Andrea now is out in LA, and so the night before last, her and Nicole went out to dinner. You know, the same person that basically, you know, Nicole said deserved to be there over Janae and shouldn't have went home. Even though Rob is basically saying now, even if Andrea would have stayed, that he probably would have moved on to the next bombshell anyways. He would have lost interest quickly like he does with everyone else, because he's not there for a good time. He's there for, you know, a long time to try to win the money. But nonetheless, with that being said, finally we see Nicole appear, you guys. And it was funny because there was a picture of her and Kendall, and they were like pointing their fingers or whatever, but you could tell by the body language that they were just taking that picture to just make it look good. But the rest of the footage that you see throughout the day of the finalists of the Islanders, in particular Kendall and Nicole, they are on opposite sides of the cast. One's in the front, one's in the back. One's on the left, one's on the far right. And then Nicole took this video of all of the Islanders, did like a roundabout selfie to do all of the Islanders. However, when Kendall tried to pop into the frame, you guys, Nicole then ventured off into filming the sky. Went from filming the cast, right, to try to get everybody in there for the video, photo, whatever. The moment Kendall's head pops in, Nicole, you know, turns her camera to the sky, you guys. To the sky. That was not the purpose of the content, Nicole. And then Janae, I don't know if this was intentional or not, you guys, but they went out to eat, obviously, after. Now, I don't know if this was still at Universal Studios or after or whatever. But Janae and Kenny were sitting next to each other, and across from them, kind of catty corner, was Kendall and Nicole, except for you could see all over Nicole's face that she was not having it. She was not here for it. She did not want to be seated next to Kendall. She did not want to interact with Kendall, and she just had this look of disgust on her face, you guys. So my theory is this. They are probably broken up, and probably the scandal didn't help matters. But I think they would have faked it till the reunion at least. I truly believe that. I truly believe had the scandal not happened, they would have tried to fake this to the reunion. But because of the scandal and how viral it went, and allegedly, you know, some people found some matching images that can suggest this was filmed at the Fiji Hotel before Kendall went on the show, which would indicate it could potentially be somebody affiliated with this show that has these photos. And it's not lost on me that there's been a lot of rumors about Kendall and Rob's closeness to allegedly being production plants of sorts. And here's the thing, it's not that far off, because even Leah, like I said, confirmed production was calling this Rob Island. right? Why are you calling this Rob Island when you have an entire cast that's looking for love? And why is it that Rob and Kendall got such a good edit? Even though they were being mean, even though they were being messy. But it was okay to still give them this glowing edit, even to an extent, Aaron. To still try to rehab them and make them look good for everybody, but you tried to villainize the good people. You tried to make Kenny look like he was a complete bore and on mute. And we're seeing now in these interviews, we're seeing him in real time without the cameras rolling, who he really is. And it's a completely different person that the production team wanted to portray as the show aired. So I know Nicole cannot wait till whatever filming obligations for Peacock and everything else is over so that she can get out of Dodge. And, you know, maybe she's going to give a statement at the reunion. They're either A, going to try to put up a united front, or B, Nicole basically is going to say, listen, you know, this scandal, this nude scandal, it rocked my world. It was too much for me to deal with, and I had to step away. I was embarrassed. I felt like I was betrayed and all of these things because, you know, XYZ, right? And that's going to be her mad dash because listen, when she said that she was falling in love or whatever with Kendall in that speech, it was hogwash. Her real reaction to Kendall was the non-reaction when he initially told her he loved her, you guys, on that date, on that final date. But you guys need to go back and watch some scenes. You need to watch the scenes when Harrison was on the show and how bad Nicole had it for him, you guys. Except for she was not willing to risk a finalist spot with Kendall. That is why Harrison ultimately chose Sierra, because he knew how Nicole felt about him, but he knew Nicole was not about to give up her position with Kendall and sacrifice that to be with Harrison and be the next dumped. So nonetheless, she chose to basically stick it out when it was all said and done in the end, to, you know, reassure Kendall that she was all about Kendall. But you can tell in the body language and the way she looks at Kendall versus the way that she looked at Harrison versus the way she looked at Kenny when he first came in versus the way that she looked at Miguel, that she is way more physically attracted to those men compared to Kendall. And it was giving very superficial because anytime Kendall talks about Nicole, he only talks about her physical attributes. He's like, oh, you're so hot. Oh, you're so hot. That's all he says. Oh, we're going to get nasty. You're so hot. It's like, can we come up with something else? Is there something else you have to say, right? But nonetheless, that is the latest update. I presume I'm going to be back with another update because I think many of you thought that this cast was going to be on hiatus until the reunion August 19th. But Peacock said, no. Not only are you guys going to be doing all of these post-show interviews and doing press and promoting the show, I'm still going to be filming you guys. I am still going to have you guys out in LA. And you guys are going to be filming content for us. And don't be surprised if the same thing happens where they fly them out a few days in advance in August to film content in New York City, to film some dates in New York City. Don't be surprised, you guys. Because, like I said, they're going to milk this to try to get as many episodes as they can. So do not be shocked by this. Now, will they do this again for another cast? I don't know. Because the problem that you have now is, are we going to go back to the older seasons where you could clearly tell certain people were not there for the right reasons and just wanted to stick it out to gain as many followers as possible, right? Because I noticed this cast compared to other casts was not pressed on what their follower count was and wasn't pressed on what America thought on them, and most of them thought America hated them. Whereas previous seasons, that was the talk of the town whenever a new Islander came in, whether it was a bombshell or somebody from Casa, that was the conversations, and that's what people always said in their interviews, that they always talked about their followers, they talked about who was liked, who wasn't, and that's how certain Islanders got a big head and started treating people differently. But this cast, you could tell that they pretty much like was raw with their emotions. Like if they were crying or they were pissed off, they let that out, right? There was no fakery, there was no manipulation or anything that was there. Now, some of them that are claiming, like Kendall and others, that they forgot about the cash prize, please spare me the nonsense. You knew why you were there. You knew why you were egging on the men to act up at CashApp, because you knew that cleared the path for you to win. And even though you thought that, you low-key were kind of celebrating, you pretended to be upset that Kayla and Aaron were dumped, but maybe you thought you had an easier chance to beat them. But you still felt that you were the favorites to win once they were officially dumped from the villa and you guys were Final Four. You assumed that you had first place. You had this in the bag. Until Cordell and Serena and Janae and Kenny, you found out what happened on those dates. And in particular, when Janae is describing her date with Kenny, and you could just see Nicole's face fall. You could see Kendall pretending to be happy for them, but pissed. And in that moment, I think they realized we did not win the show. We did not win the show. All we got was some parasailing, even though we got our own private island with some views. But we didn't get any personal effects to, highlight our journey or highlight our story. Even though you guys did receive family videos, right? But the intricate details of both Cordell and Serena and Janae and Kenny's dates really gave a true finalist vibe and really tried to portray, something to kind of bring full circle their connection, right? And so nonetheless, that personal touch was nowhere to be found in Kendall and Nicole's date, right? So nonetheless, there's a lot, you guys, a lot of content that is going to be happening with these Islanders. I know you guys thought that you were going to be released and you didn't have to hear anything again until this reunion, but no. 919 minutes viewed, the #1 streamed show across everywhere. No. They're going to try to get as much content as they can, you guys. They're going to try to film as much as they can until August 19th to try to give you some more content and give you some more episodes, you guys. Do not be shocked, right? So, nonetheless, there is that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.